So the mayor of Chicago, I watched him this morning. He said, Trump doesn't know what he's talking about. He only apprehended 9 people. Well, number one, that's false. It's thousands. We'll get into that. But more importantly than anything, we took guns away. We have some of the worst career professionals out of the country already. They've been taken out of the country, and some are in solid confinement.
Hi everyone. Today, armed military unleashed in US cities. First they came for Cali, now they're coming for all of them. Mr. Lee, the newly elected South Korean president, visits Washington to meet the Mad Baby King. And more. Mostly Trump saying stupid shit. He's really good at it.
Mr. President, do you plan to investigate Chris Christie?
Say it what?
Do you plan to investigate Chris Christie?
Look, Chris is a slob. Everybody knows it. I know Chris better than anybody in the room.
As always, gracious as fuck, Donald. So give us your latest thoughts then.
You saw the World Cup was here the other day, and come to think of it, there's your trophy.
Whoa, look at that hand. That's not looking good, brother. Your hand is dying, brother. Anyway, moving on.
For the World Cup. In fact, it's solid gold. That's actually solid gold, so heavy that some of the people in this room wouldn't be able to lift it up. I think what I'm going to do is place it right above the angel, right over there. That's solid gold, too. We're going to put it right up there. Look at that. There's a solid gold trophy. They know how to get to me, you know?
Oh yeah, we know. Now, disregarding the fact that he appears to be trying to hide his heavily discolored hand with his other hand, I have another thing to note on this. Why the fuck does he have the World Cup? Did he win the World Cup? Why is it in the Oval Office? What the fuck is going on?
So I'm thinking about, when I have some slob like Pritzker criticizing us before we even go there, I made the statement that next should be Chicago, because as you all know, Chicago is a killing field right now. And they don't acknowledge it. And they say, we don't need him, freedom, freedom. He's a dictator, he's a dictator. A lot of people are saying maybe we like a dictator.
Go on.
I don't like a dictator. I'm not a dictator. I'm a man with great common sense, and I'm a smart person.
Yeah, Donnie, as you know, all smart people tell you up front that they're smart, so you know.
There's no auto pen that can do that, right? Look at that, Pam. Is that a good signature? Seriously, is that a good signature? Who can write like that? Nobody.
Look at it. Tell me you wouldn't feel pride if that was your signature.
Lastly, sir, this is an executive order on flag burning. It charges your attorney general.
Would you listen to this? This is very important. Flag burning. All over the country, they're burning flags. All over the world, they burn the American flag.
It's because they love you, Donnie. They're just trying to illustrate how hot they think you've made the country.
And so, Pete, you started up by saying the Department of Defense, and somehow it didn't sound good to me. It didn't sound good. Defense, what are we defense? Why are we defense? So it used to be called the Department of War, and it had a stronger sound. And as you know, we won World War I, we won World War II, we won everything. Now we have a Department of Defense. We're defenders. I don't know. If you people want to, standing behind me, if you take a little vote, if you want to change it back to what it was when we used to win wars all the time, that's okay with me.
War's back, baby. Enough of this baby-ass chicken shit defense thing. Ooh, we're just defending here. No, it's time for fucking war, baby. Remember Iraq? That was just defending. It's time for offending now.
Baltimore is a horrible, horrible deathbed. It's a deathbed. I know Governor Moore said, he wants to take a walk with me. He meant it in a derogatory tone. I said, no, I'm the President of the United States. Clean up your crime and I'll walk with you. But Governor Moore's is doing a bad job. Newsom's doing a bad job. All of their potential candidates are doing a bad job. I can't imagine Pritzker being even a candidate, but somebody said he is. He can't do the work, can't do the job. He's not temperamentally suited.
Wow, Pritzker is not temperamentally suited specifically. What is it about his extra hate boner for Pritzker? Is it because he feels threatened by a fat billionaire whose family fortune is in hotels as opposed to construction? Does that strike too close to home? Look, Donnie, you're a fathers as well. And let me just say, highly temperamental. So people in glass houses and all that.
I will tell you that we are going to be doing numbers on the cost of drugs in this country that I'm not talking about a 20% decrease, which would be great. I'm talking about 1,000% decrease. We're talking about where a product would sell for $80 in Germany and $1,300 here. And we're not going to do that. We were subsidizing the entire world, and we're not doing it anymore. I informed the drug companies. I informed the world.
You were subsidizing the fat bonuses of pharma CEOs, you muppet, not the entire world. The reason, by the way, literally the rest of the world pays less for the same drugs is that the rest of the world has, or at least tries to have, a functional healthcare system. And their system works a little bit like Medicare, but for all. Remind you of something? That way, when a healthcare system covers everybody, they can negotiate with the drug companies for better prices because they represent more customers. Sounds simple, right? Less so when everybody in Congress is bought and paid for by the pharma lobby. But let's lighten the mood a little bit with the arrival of the President of the Republic of Korea and the as per usual impromptu presser.
Say that Kim Jong-un and I had a very good relationship, as you remember, and still do. And when I came in, I didn't know him. We had 2 summits, but we became very friendly. Respect. It was great respect. And it was not going to be that way had Hillary Clinton won the election. It would have been a disaster. But we think we can do something in that regard with respect to North and South, and I think you are much more prone to doing that than other leaders that I've been working with from South Korea. And we'll work on that. I think it's very good to work on that. If you remember, you were doing the Olympics, and there was a great time of hostility with North Korea, and you weren't selling tickets because nobody wanted to be blown up in the stadium during the opening ceremonies, right? And you were not selling tickets. And I was also at my formative stage with North Korea and Kim Jong-un, and we were a little bit going at it about Rocketman, little Rocketman.
Hey, we finally get a shout out. Love you too, Donnie. Hit it. I know you've missed it. Moving on.
So I hope that you will usher in a new era of peace on the Korean Peninsula.
I will do that, and we'll have talks. He'd like to meet with me. He didn't want to meet with Biden because he had no respect for Biden, but we look forward to meeting with him, and we'll make relations better. You'll help that. You had a lot of leaders. I've gone through a lot of leaders in South Korea. You know, it's been quick. You'll be there for a long time. But we, in the various leaders that I've dealt with, they were not approaching it properly, in my opinion, having to do with North Korea. But I think your approach is a much better one.
This just in, Donald Trump endorses a left-leaning approach in South Korean politics, and he doesn't even know it.
When do you want to meet with him?
With who?
You said the North Korean leader wants to meet. How soon would you?
Yeah, we want to have a meeting. I like to have a meeting. I got along great with him. You know, you were there. We even had a press conference. He had his first press conference. Kim Jong-un had a press conference. This was a little different press conference. I said, have you done a press conference before? No. And you know what? He did great. It was a great press conference, actually. It was historic. I doubt he's done one since. But I said, would you like to meet the fake news? Because whatever you want to do. And they came in like you've never seen anything like it. And then he said, Enough. And that was the end of that.
Please, someone in his team, make it happen.
So as mentioned earlier, United States is South Korea's most important and closest ally. So in this point of view, I would like to ask you and also President Lee, what do you think are the key ways to make the South Korea-U.S. alliance greater?
Well, I think it's great now. I feel very warmly toward South Korea. I will tell you that I have a lot of people in business that I deal with that are from South Korea. They love Trump.
I love that the United States here is completely interchangeable with Trump.
Because they feel I've saved. I think you would have had a nuclear war if I weren't. I think you would have had a nuclear war, North Korea and South Korea. I think it would have been a disaster.
Aha, okay, imaginary nuclear war averted. I feel like he's losing it again. Did he say anything else worth commenting on?
You're still thinking about comfort women, right? Comfort women. That's all they wanted to talk about was comfort women.
No, great meeting, 15 out of 10. But let's roll back to that whole unleashing the military in US cities to combat crime and sniff out the foreigners.
President Trump is escalating his feuds with Democratic-run cities and states over crime and threats of military deployments. Today, Trump suggested he may pull federal funding for the reconstruction of the collapsed Francis Scott Key Bridge over in Baltimore. In a series of Truth Social posts, the president attacked Maryland Governor Wes Moore's record on crime and tied bridge funding to a political dispute on deploying the National Guard to cities across the country. All of this comes as CNN has learned the Trump administration has been planning for weeks to send National Guard troops to Chicago, America's third largest city. It's believed the deployment would look different from what we've seen over in Washington, D.C., where the president has more leeway in directing troops. The Chicago deployment could more resemble what the president did in Los Angeles in response to immigration protests there this summer. But this time, troops are expected to have a broader focus of combating crime and unprecedented use of the National Guard.
Chicago's a mess. You have an incompetent mayor, grossly incompetent, and we'll straighten that one out probably next. And the people in Chicago, Mr. Vice President, are screaming for us to come. They're wearing red hats, just like this one.
So the people of Chicago are begging for the guy who wears the hat that says that he's right about everything to send the troops in their city to combat crime and find the illegal immigrants. The troops, the military, are they going to stop carjackings? Are they going to investigate robberies? How long will they be staying in these democratic cities? Will they be there until the midterms next year? And why are they armed?
Breaking overnight, members of the National Guard now carrying weapons on patrol in Washington, D.C. The move marking a major escalation in President Trump's federal takeover of policing in the nation's capital.
Sounds ominous. And by the way, the governor had a response to Trump's threat to pull out the bridge rebuilding funding.
By the way, the 100% cost share that is now being done between the state of Maryland and the federal government was not authorized by Donald Trump. It was authorized by Congress, and it was authorized by President Biden. And so for the president to talk about, President Trump to say how he's, quote unquote, given us all this money, not just is it deeply disrespectful and factually inaccurate, but I hope he understands that the communities that are most hit by that are communities like Dundalk, which, by the way, are communities that actually voted for the president.
Deeply disrespectful and factually inaccurate. Yeah, sounds like our president. And before you say that he's not my president, excuse me.
They call me the president of Europe, which is an honor. I like Europe and I like those people. They're good people. They're great leaders.
And since today, the president posted that any country that dares to tax, legislate, or regulate an American tech company will be slapped with tariffs. I believe that there is only one way, really, that the self-respecting European peoples could ever respond to their president.